Well, I appreciate it. So we just got done with practice. What was a Wednesday practice for us with prep for a Friday game. Obviously, we've come together and moved the game to Saturday. There's a lot, obviously, a lot of moving parts going on. First and foremost, the hurricane coming this way. There's so many emotions from so many of our guys, but more importantly than that, the most important thing is the people of Tampa, the people of this coast, and making sure from a safety perspective, we can put our guys in a position to be safe. We can put our guys in a position that they've got food, they've got water. My thoughts, our thoughts, and prayers are certainly with everybody and what's going to happen here in the next 48 hours. Certainly the first responders and all these people that selflessly are about to go through a really, really hard time here. So that's first and most important beyond anything for us as a team getting ready for a football game. We're going to take our team here this afternoon. We're going to go to Orlando, and our operations team has done an incredible job of finding a place that's safe, to a place where we can keep our guys together, we can feed them, we can house them, place that's got support in terms of when the hurricane comes through, and for our coaches and their families as well. So we're going to go to Orlando. We felt like that was the closest place that could house us all. That was the closest place that was prepared to be able to feed our guys, and where we had space to continue to prepare. And the biggest reason for leaving, obviously, with the hurricane, but all of the hotels in the area are being used for emergency personnel for what's about to come. So we're going to go about an hour and a half down the road and regroup there as we continue to prepare for Saturday now, and certainly where we are, where we're able to keep our guys safe, fed, housed, and are ready for whatever comes our way. So a little bit of adversity for us, but it doesn't measure up to the adversity that this city is going to go through here, and obviously hoping and praying for the best here.
Thank you, Coach. Joey Knight, go ahead. You want to start the questions?
Can you hear me, Alex?
I got you.
You always seem the guy who can compartmentalize, focus on the task at hand. How tough is it to focus this week with just everything happening?
Yeah, I think that's goes back to even after the Tulane game and before any of this came to fruition. That's the biggest piece for us as a football team. It's you look around college football and you see the teams that are the most prepared, the most focused, the most ready. And I know that's very coach speak, but it's so true that you've got to be able to maintain focus. And there's so many other factors in these young guys' lives right now that's the hardest part of our job. I feel like, well, you add this component to it. That is all that I have preached, demanded, talked about. It's our players, but honestly, our staff as well. We've got families, we've got little ones, we've got several wives that are pregnant on the staff, like things that are real life situations that you're pushing through. You're trying to be sensitive to the reality of the situation, but you're demanding focus from your players, and it's incredibly hard. It's the biggest challenge we have today in general, but certainly with this situation, we're trying to keep it as normal as we can. Obviously, they know they're about to get in a bus. There's going to be traffic on 4. We're going to probably be in a bus for about 3.5 hours, and it's just part of it. Just told our guys after practice, and we've had 2 really, really good, focused, high energy, detailed practices back to back here. Just told our guys that we are having to deal with something, and we can either say, woe is me, or we can use it to our advantage, meaning we're going to be all together. We're going to be able to continue to do football. We're going to continue to be able to meet. And if we can stay focused through it, we'll give ourselves a chance to be successful. But It's really hard, and that's the biggest challenge for us. And when you're building a culture within a program, I think that's the biggest thing. And if we can continue to keep our focus all the way through till Saturday, we'll have a chance. But it's incredibly hard.
Matt Baker.
Hey Alex, are you guys able to take families with you, the coaches' families and all that stuff that you were talking about?
Yeah, the coaches have the option to bring their families. Most will go. Some for personal reasons are going to stay, but everybody that's in the evacuation zones is coming with.
Have you dealt with something like this before? I mean, who are you like? I mean, there's no playbook for this, obviously. Who are you kind of reaching out to try and figure out what the heck to do?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, there hadn't been a whole lot of time to reach out to anybody. We've met almost hourly since Saturday to make sure we've got a really good plan. We started really Saturday morning with prep, with reaching out, obviously, to hotels, buses. There's it's not just, hey, we're going to go sit in a hotel room. You got to be able to feed these guys. We've got 120 some odd guys. We've got medical personnel. We've got operations, sports performance personnel, and then, like you said, their families. So there is no playbook, but we tried to find the best situation that when power goes out, that's got generator support, and the best situation that's got the ability to order food and be able to roll through Thursday night. So there is no playbook. We met, we bounced ideas off each other. We put together 3 different itineraries. We didn't find out about the game change till late. And so we were preparing to play Friday night. And then obviously the extra day, we're a day ahead from a prep standpoint. But there is no playbook. You're doing whatever you think is best. And I think it goes back to just about anything else we've done. What's best for these kids? What's best for these kids? What's best for these kids? That's my job, is to make sure our kids are safe and our kids have an opportunity to be successful. And there isn't a playbook. People that have worked here for a long time, in terms of in this part of the country, have dealt with it. We've got a couple of guys on the staff that have been on staffs where it's happened before, but there is no playbook on it.
Sean Perry.
Hey, Alex, like you kind of mentioned, you got 120 some guys on this team, and some are going through this, like you said, for the first time ever. Did you say anything to them at all to kind of calm their nerves a little bit? And did that play into the ultimate decision to evacuate to Orlando and keep them together?
No, we obviously, I've talked to our guys over the last 24 hours a bunch, in terms of, here's what we're doing. Here's how I imagine some of you are feeling. It's really our guys that are from here, whose families are here, that have some sort of a feeling or emotion, in terms of, all right, man, like I've got my family I got to worry about as well here. And we've had several conversations with those guys. They're super open. The environment we have here is guys are free to speak and bring things up. And so guys have a lot of young guys that are going through it for the first time. But we've continuously talked to them, and they brought issues or concerns up as they've had them. And I mean, something as simple as, man, are you good if I take a case of water home to my family? The Publix here's out. Dude, take whatever water you need, man. Like, little things. Guys got dogs. That's a big thing. What do we do with the dogs? So there's a lot of little things that we've prepared for that we've addressed here over the last 24 hours.
Joe Henderson. You're on mute, Joe. Joe, you're on mute. All right, I'm going to go. You get it?
No, I got it.
There you go.
Okay. Coach, can you give us an update on Byram Brown?
Yeah. Byram is obviously got banged up in the Tulane game. He is working to get back. Was at practice today, I'd say day to day. And we'll see where he's at here at the end of the week. I think the extra day helps us. But he's been awesome. He's such a positive dude in general. But we'll go day to day and see what he looks like really probably closer to Friday.
Thank you.
Joey Knight.
My question was just kind of asked. So there is a chance Byram could be in play for this weekend, Alex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I need. Thanks.
Nathan Bond.
Alex, Rashad Cheney announced this week he's medically retiring. I know he played a little under 100 snaps this season, kind of dealt with injuries the last couple of years. What kind of went into that decision, and what's going to be his role, if any, kind of going forward through the end of the year here?
Yeah, Rashad, man, I give Rashad so much credit. He, when we got here, he had the really, really bad ankle, fought like crazy, and I thought had a really good year a year ago. Got hurt again this spring, really our first full padded practice, and fought like crazy all summer to get back. Was really limited through camp, and went through it. I mean, physically, emotionally, he's a guy that's a leader on this team, a guy that the D-line really has counted on to, one, lead, but two, just his presence. He's played so much football at a really high level. My emotions with Rashad are really heavy just because he's a leader. He has aspirations of playing at the next level. He has a little one, and he's fought through all of that, and we've tried to limit in terms of how much work he gets throughout the week to be able to play on the weekends. I think the Alabama game is a really, really good one to point to. He played absolutely lights out. And, as we sat here after the Tulane game and he didn't play in the Tulane game, just the pain was too much, and never obviously pushed him past it. He's old enough that he knows his body. He knows when it feels right, when it doesn't. And it just hasn't felt right. Going into that game, it didn't feel right. And he's fought it like crazy. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for Rashad. I have a lot of respect for him coming back and fighting through it. And we sat down and between the medical personnel and just how he's physically feeling, felt like, man, I just can't go anymore. And you talk about a guy that left it all out there. He left it all out there. And so he's ready to start life. And, we're certainly here helping him through it. In terms of what's next, I think everybody has that moment where it's like, all right, what do I do now? And he's so focused and locked in on his goals in terms of being a really, really good dad, being eventually a really good husband, and what's next career-wise. I joke with him all the time, but I think it's so true. I think he's going to be coaching on a football field sooner than later, just because that's his passion. Man, a lot of credit to him. And like I said, I've got a soft spot for him because I think he's a guy that bought in when we got here. He had been through a lot in terms of coaches. He's had gosh knows how many D-line coaches, bought into me, bought into Coach KP, and has been a really, really good advocate for our program. And like I said, he's dealt with a lot, physically, dealt with a lot emotionally, and has powered through. And I think he's going to be such a success in life. He's taken this time right now to kind of figure out what's next for him in terms of his next step. And like I said, we're here for him. He knows that. We've talked a bunch, and we'll see what's next for him. But I bet you he's going to be uber successful in life.
I know you mentioned kind of the team had been banged up through the first 5 weeks, two challenging games, Alabama, Miami. RJ Perry obviously missed the Tulane game. What's his status? Is there other players that should be able to make their way back Saturday or whenever the next game may be? Yeah,
RJ is one who had an upper body deal, missed the game. RJ's back. He's full go. Practiced again yesterday and today, which were our Tuesday, Wednesday practices. He'll be full go. Deshaun Rucker's full go. Jason Vaughn got banged up in the game last weekend. Jason Vaughn's full go. I'm trying to think here. Offensively, that's it. Defensively, Taufik Byard left the game with a hand. He was back today practicing in a club. He'll be good to go. Mars Brown's been limited. He's back, good to go. I think we're actually kind of in some ways getting healthier. The bye week was really good for us, but we got really banged up. I think it showed in that Tulane game, and that's not the reason we lost the game by any means, but we certainly were really banged up. But losing Rashad full time now hurts. Guys got to step up and guys got to go. You saw Denelson Exume stepped up and played a bunch. Chenelson Exume will continue to get better and play there on the D line. Schuler is the other one. Shu started the game for us, tried like crazy to go, really couldn't. And the bye week was really good for him. And Shu was back running around and doing a really good job. And we think he'll be ready to go by Saturday.
Matt Baker.
Alex, I mean, I think everyone on this call has, bigger things that we're worrying about than football, as important as football is. But how important do you think this game can be for the area and your team and all the players here having hopefully something normal to look forward to and do here in a couple of days?
Yeah, Matt, I'm trying to be really sensitive in that regard. On, like you said, we've all got things in the back of our minds in terms of what this storm brings. I feel like every time you turn on the Weather Channel, you're like, wozers, and I don't mean to be a downer, just the reality of it. And God forbid you go on social media and see what the heck is going on. Like it's so wild. So, I don't want to normalize any of that. I really don't. And I understand the importance of every football game for us. I understand the importance of us needing to bounce back and get back into a rhythm where we're playing really, really good football. And so I think on both sides of it, they're both important. But I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I told you, man, I feel like this football game is going to be really important Saturday after what happens here Thursday. What happens here Thursday could be as bad as anything this part of the country's ever seen. And I've lived in areas where I've seen, tornadoes eliminate towns. Obviously, I know from this hurricane standpoint what some of these major hurricanes have done in our state. I'm trying to really make the important things, which is our player safety, our families, coaches' families' safety, whatever we can do for our players' family safety. It's, I told my wife last night, man, like she told me, man, you take care of your team. I got our team, which is my crew. And like you talk about unselfish human being, where she's like, you got 300 people you got to make sure are in a good spot. There's so much that goes into all of this that I don't know really how to normalize it or tell you, man, we're going to go play Saturday for our city. And what some of these people are dealing with and what people are dealing with from 2 weeks ago, and up and down our coast, I think the attention has really been grabbed by what's going on in North Carolina and East Tennessee. I get sick. I'd like to think a good human being where every time I see what's going on up there, my heart absolutely breaks. And I think of how fortunate we are that we've actually got resources where we can get on buses and go. And but I know I'm kind of spewing here a little bit, but my emotions are super, super mixed. And at the end of the day, I know that on Saturday at 3:30, I have to have our football team ready to go because Memphis is dealing with none of this. And when we kick that ball off, nobody cares at that point in terms of what we've had to go through or the fact that Memphis hasn't had to go through it. So we're going to take it one day at a time here. We're going to keep our kids prepared mentally. We're going to keep our kids prepared physically. And the realness of the situation is that there's going to be people that are going to be dealing with some crazy stuff. There's people that are dealing with crazy stuff from 2 weeks ago. And I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, none of us do. Thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Nathan, go ahead.
Alex, has the conference or has anybody kind of given you like a absolute deadline? Okay, this game is or is not going to be played in terms of you guys getting back, because I'm sure traffic's going to be chaotic, getting Memphis in. What's been the conference's kind of talking points to you guys as they kind of prepare to get this game in?
Yeah, so we've been in contact with Jamie Hickson and Tim Pernetti, really starting on Saturday night, Sunday morning. We were really trying to get a game plan by Sunday night, and the storm kind of got stronger and it all kind of kept going. I think we waited till the very last second in terms of last night. When I say they did from a conference standpoint, waited as long as they could. We essentially virtually met with Memphis and Tim and Jamie and our administration, their administration, and at the end of the day said, man, there's no way we're playing this thing Friday night here, especially with Ray J being used by emergency personnel. And so then the next piece was, can we play it on Saturday? That was the next time where it was like remotely feasible. Again, we're going to revisit this whole thing on Thursday. I think we want to obviously play a game. Memphis wants to play a game, but understanding that there's far more important things out there, which is the safety of our city and this whole coastline. And so we'll meet again on Sunday or on Thursday, and if it's safe and it's reasonable, we'll play the game. Our full intention is to play the game, and the conferences, I guess to answer your question, Nathan, the conference's full intention is to play the game. We have another bye week. They have another bye week. They don't match up. So there's not a feasible way to do it on the second bye. That would have been really easy. But we'll play by ear and we'll go. Obviously they want to get the game in. We want to go play the game. And it's in all facets an important game in our league. So we'll see.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. I don't see any other questions, so I think we'll let you go. Appreciate everybody's time today, and safe travels to the team. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.